Hello everyone and welcome back to another 100 Days of Making Comics with me, Zabethy. Today is day 67. So with today's page, it actually took me about 35 minutes. I'm trying not to go over the 30 minutes for a couple of reasons. Number one, I have a lot of other art things that I need to do, which I know I've mentioned a couple of times. But I also have other things that I am keeping in mind, such as that sometimes these 30-minute bursts are making me a little bit more creative and actually quicker while doing other art on the side than just doing comics for hours and hours a day. I do want to do comics for hours a day, don't get me wrong. I just have quite a bit that I need to do right now. Once I get into the position where I have managed my days to the point where I can do comics and do my freelance work, I will get right on top of that. But until then, I have no way to be able to do both. Regarding this page, it actually took me quite a bit longer than I ever anticipated it would, mostly because I had thumbnailed out the 4 pages, and when I got to the bottom 4 pages, I decided that some parts went better on one side versus the other. So my paneling was just completely askew, and I actually took out a couple of panels that I had put in there, and I was just trying to make it look better, feel cleaner, be more cohesive. And I think I've accomplished that, but in doing that, I had to spend a little bit more time figuring things out. There was also some issues where, like, usually I put a lot of detail in my little thumbnails so I know where everything goes, and I've done that here, but when you're doing backgrounds, they take you a little bit longer, or at least they take me a little bit longer. I'm not a pro at backgrounds. I was trying to remember one of the houses from my childhood, specifically the house that my mom built, and in doing that, I kind of cobbled together memories of a couple of different items from houses or whatever. Like, at this point, I can't even remember if our windows had blinds on them. They must have had something, curtains. My mom's always had curtains, but I don't remember them ever being closed, because mom always had curtains open so that the house would have beautiful view. We lived in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the mountains, so having them drawn was silly. It's not like we were hiding from the neighbors or anything. And we almost only watched TV at night. In the daytime, we would be out at the beach or wherever, or exploring the forest, or doing whatever it is that we did as kids. So I put the curtains on there just because my mom's always had curtains, so there must have been curtains. I had a bit of issue with some of the gesture that I was doing. It took me a long time to fully get some of the facial expressions or the body expressions out properly. I struggled with it quite a bit, and I had a lot of erasing because of it, and you'll see that especially towards the end. I've slowed down some of the process, I've sped up some of the other process. It's just, I don't know why, but some very simple things, some things that I would be able to get first try generally, I was finding a huge issue. Sometimes you have really good art days and other days you don't. I mean, I don't think that this was a bad art day. I just think that I was a little bit slower than I usually am. Maybe a little bit too finicky. There are a couple of times when I erased faces or body parts or whatever, and I just thought, oh, that looked better the first time, or oh, that looked better the second time, or oh, that looked better 7 tries ago. And now I'm just going to ruin this paper. So I'm doing all of this in a moleskin notebook. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that. I don't use them for any big sketchbook things, because usually I like to use watercolors and markers and things that will bleed through the paper in moleskins. However, for sketching in pen and or pencil, it's quite amazing. It glides on smooth, and it's fairly easy to erase no matter how dark the pencil is. So I can see some major benefits of having a moleskin at this point, even if it was by accident. Overall, I have to say that I'm fairly pleased with how this page has come out in total. There are things that I'm going to need to clean up and fix up and add detail to when it comes to finishing all of this off, but as it stands right now, for a rough, I'm fairly happy. In the future, I'm probably going to approach this slightly differently. There are just things that I would like to fix, like taking my thumbnails maybe into Photoshop instead and doing my roughs just straight onto them, and then printing them out and then doing the final versions of the ink work on that. I think that might speed up some of the process. I'm going to try it out in the next comic I make. However, right now, what I've done seems pretty okay. I'm happy with it. If you've noticed that my voice is a little bit different, it's because I'm getting really stuffed up. My throat's a little bit itchy and I am not feeling 100%. It is the very beginning of spring and I don't know if that means I am sick or if it means that I am having allergies. But since most of the issue is happening at night right now and hasn't persisted through the daytime, I think I'm fighting off a cold. Right now I'm doing quite a bit of stream stuff. It's going to slow down soon, but there's some personal stream stuff that I need to do as well. I've been thinking about it for a while and unrelated to this channel, and kind of on the prompting of my dad and my mom and some of my friends, I'm going to start streaming video games, and not like professionally or anything, just for fun. I say professionally because there are a lot of people out there who do it for a living at this point, and I reckon that I probably will never get there. I just figured that there are so many people in the community who I already talk to every day, and so much that I already do inside the streaming community, like with people who are fans of my mom or fans of other streamers or whatever. I might as well just continue. I really enjoy community in games and in art and in general. It makes me motivated to do things. It's part of why I like Fortnite so much. I know that there is a huge toxic community in Fortnite, just as there are in every game. However, I found that a lot of very positive streams have made me want to become more involved, like in streaming the games. I don't think that Fortnite would be the only game that I play, because there are quite a few games that I do play. I think that being involved in community is really helpful. It's really fun. It makes games and art and everything more interesting for me personally. So yeah, I'll be working on that stream stuff as well eventually. I'm not entirely sure when, but it's something that I've been interested in for a while now. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, maybe even subscribe. I hope you're having a wonderful day, night, or morning, wherever you are, whenever you're watching this. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye!